2044 here. We're going to be doing an unboxing of the Corsair AX1200 power supply. This is probably one of the premier power supplies available. Not only do you get the 1200 watts, which is pretty much the maximum you can have for US spec, households. Of course, Silverstone makes the 1500 watt. But one of the prime selling points of this power supply is its build quality, how silent it is, and it's also gold certified, which means for any given output it's going to be more efficient, and so it's going to use less power coming from your wall. So I'm looking forward to this going to be put into the workstation build that I'm doing. So looking at the packaging is very nice. There's really, it's glossy looking. If you look at the side here, it's just nice. I mean, Corsair, they do everything nicely. They honestly do. Let's take a look at the back. This is going to give us all our connectors and our power ratings. So let's go ahead and zoom in here on our connectors first. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I'm going to get in there closer. Okay, here's our connectors. It has a ATX 20 pin and 24 pin. It has one of those, which that's all you need. And it has two EPS 12 volt connectors. It's 4 and 8 pin compatible. So for the SR2 where this is going in, I will be using both of those 8 pins for that purpose. It has 6 PCI Express, 6 8-pin compatible, and I think just from what I've read on it, they're going to be 6 plus 2s. So that gives you, since there's 6 of them, that gives you the opportunity to run 3 cards. It would seem 3 high-end cards that are 6-pin and 8-pin. Okay, there is 16 serial ATA power cables, which is a lot. There is 12 4-pin peripherals, which is the Molex cables, and then it says there are 2 floppy cables in it. So let's go ahead and look at the power for it. Okay, I have to zoom out just a bit. Okay, power for it. Here's all your ratings. You have your +3, +5, +12, which is your important block, your -12, and your +5 down here. The main thing is 12 volt. Most everything's 12 volt. Of course, there's some motherboard items that are 3.3 and 5. But 12 volt, it looks to me like it's a single rail, and it has a total load of 100.4 amps, which is, again, that's a lot. And that's rated at a little over 1200 watts. So looks to me like this should be able to power most any computer you put together. So let me go ahead and zoom out, and we'll get into this thing and look at the connectors. There we go. Okay, as you can see, the camera's moving. This is a very heavy box, which is a good sign for a power supply, trust me. And the tab was broken there because I went ahead and looked at it the other day real quickly. Here's your booklet, and the booklet's pretty thick. They use this for the 750, the 850, and also the 1200, and so I'm sure it gives ratings for all of those. Okay, looking at the packaging here, I'll tell you what, it looks very nice. I assume the power supply is under here. Here is your power cable that you plug into the wall. It has the standard connection, which I like. The Silverstone Strider has a proprietary connection, or actually someone corrected me on that video. It's not a proprietary connection, it's just not a normal connector that we use over here in the United States. So, let me take it back, he's going to get me again. It is a normal connector, it's just a less widely used connector for the Silverstone, where this is the normal accepted connector. Okay, see, I like your all's comments, I don't get everything right. Okay, here is the bag of goodies. It's going to have all your cabling in it, so we'll look at that in a second. It also gives you a little bag of, looks like zip ties. There's also a case sticker too. And let me see if you can see that. And that's a pretty nice case sticker. I'll probably be using that, as a matter of fact. Okay, so here we are. Let's go ahead and pull this apart. And this is just like the Seasonic that I had an unboxing on. It's a felt case, very nicely done. You won't have to worry about this being damaged at all in transit because of the way it's packed. And you can see the logo on that. That is very nice, and it's felt. I mean, you can store your extra cables, or I mean, I don't know. I guess you could use it as a handbag. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. There we go. It's hard to focus on the black, I guess. Let's open it up. Slide it out. There's actually another plastic covering on it. And here is where you open it. Pull it out. Okay, let's zoom in just a little bit. Okay, looking at the back, it has a switch, thank goodness. It has the standard or the more common connector right there. What it looks to me, of course you can see the fingerprints I've already put on it. It's a matte black finish, and there is the data on the power. And now this is a fully modular power supply. And you can look and you see all the connectors there, which is just all kinds of connectors. This is one heck of a power supply. And then at the bottom, this is I think it's a 14 centimeter fan. I guess it could be 12, 14 or 12. I'm going to make my final guess. It's going to be a 12. I'm going to say 12 for it. So I could be wrong on that. But it has a single fan in it. And from what I've read, it's silent. For the build that I'm doing for the guy in Texas, he originally had the PC Power and Cooling 1200 watt power supply, and he sent it to me, and I told him, I said, that power supply is bulletproof, there's no doubt about it. It's high quality and I like it, but I used to own that power supply and it was very loud. It has a single 80mm fan in the back and it was very loud, and I told him that. I said, you know, he's kind of concerned, he didn't want it to be too loud. And so I said, you need to change power supplies. So we went with this one, and I think it was a great choice. And this is on both sides. You can see that there. So this is a very nice looking power supply. And this will also look awesome in the Corsair case because they'll be the same brand. Okay, let's go and look at the cabling in here. And there's actually something different about the cabling on here than you see on a normal power supply, and that's going to become apparent right now. If you look at it, they're flat cables for the peripherals. See how that's flat? It's not the normal round and sleeved cabling. So, I mean, there's just a slew of them. Of course, I'm not going to go through them all because we've already told you what was in the box. But let me give you a comparison of the normal cabling you would see. See, here's the EPS 12 volt 8 pin right here, and you see that it's sleeved and it's not flat. Compare that to the peripherals for the Serial ATA and Molex. They're flat. And you know what? That matches the cabling that comes standard in the 800D and 700D cases, and also the 600T. So this is going to match perfectly for when they're used inside the case. And let me have a look at these PCI Express cables. Okay, here are the PCI Express cables here. And you can see that's the connector that goes into the power supply. And then this is what goes into the graphics card. And they are all 6+2 connectors, which is what I like. And also, if you look at close enough, there's a lot of, let me move this here. There's a lot of room from the beginning of this to the end. And so it should be easy to make use of it. I've had some power supplies where this was too long and you had a bunch of extra cabling and it didn't look right, you had to tie it up. And there's others that you had to fight to get in there, but this looks like it's designed perfectly, actually perfectly. So, okay, well, I mean, that's pretty much all for the power supply. I think this is one of the top power supplies on the market from what I read. And again, I have the Mushkin power supply in my own computers. They are bang for buck, some of the best you can get. But this power supply is superior in my mind. Just, you know, both the build qualities are close to being equal, but this, I would say, would have a higher longevity. This is a really hefty power supply. And this is going to go perfect for a workstation computer that runs most of the time. So I think he's going to be very happy with this. So this concludes the unboxing and first look of the Corsair AX1200 power supply. Thank you. Please comment and subscribe.